Yes, and I'm happy to address that. I think, Linda, what you've expressed is exactly what we heard last week. And we've been working through this process. I think what we've already started to do is just to communicate the additional resources and communication plan. You know, I see one of the comments on the chat here, someone that has experience with us at the Four Seasons in New Jersey, and that's the exact same platform. So I think, Linda, to your point, you're going to have your office staff, and they're going to be there, and they're going to be full-time and dedicated. And I think we need to continue to improve and communicate the other avenues as well for the residents to get information and get answers to their questions, because it's not just the office. And I think that's what we're trying to say. It's 24/7, it's nights and weekends, it's other areas of opportunity. We have to do that more, I think, and I don't think we've done enough of that. It doesn't sound to me anyhow in the past, recent.
Do you have policies and procedures where your employees know that if a resident has a problem, that it has to be addressed by a certain time? If it's not, it gets escalated, and if it's not answered by a certain time, they failed.
Yes, we do.
I think that, though.
Yeah,
we
please,
haven't
Connor,
seen
go
that.
ahead.
Is that are policies and procedures available for us to see?
So we do have standard operating procedures, and we do have global policies and things of that sort, where every resident should be receiving an answer, an acknowledgement, or having their issue addressed within no more than 24 hours or the following business day. That is our policy. We have had problems and issues, concerns at your building, and a lot of traffic, a lot of communication, a lot of things going on. But that is one of the things moving forward that we have been working with your board and speaking about and addressing, on making sure that we have the staff trained and supported better, making sure, for example, just the simple fact that while we did have a couple thousand calls to the call center, so many people in your building weren't aware that after hours, weekends, anytime, 24 hours a day, we do have a call center. And that call center, when they call in, whatever the problem is, whether it needs to go to accounting, whether it needs to go to the manager, if the manager's unavailable, that call center rolls over the call to your regional director, or that call center rolls the call over to me if your regional director or your manager are unavailable on any critical situation or any situation you've had to call back more than once and it hasn't been addressed. So these are all the types of things that, when it comes to communication, that we need to work to give better support to the team, better training to the team, but also make sure the homeowners are aware you've got numerous ways of contacting us, and that we do have everything available 24 hours a day.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know that Fani works hard and she does a good job, but it seems that she's mired in paperwork. I mean, based on some of the other presentations we saw 2 weeks ago, I mean, they encourage the office manager to come out and what?
Let's not compare them to the others. They made their
I'm just saying, no, I'm just asking if they
Okay.
have any plans for Fani to be out more and talking to people.
We actually had, hey, Bill, do you want to drop the slide?
Which one?
You want to drop the
Oh,
PowerPoint.
stop sharing. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I apologize. Yes, that was actually a great deal of our conversation, and that's something Randy, your regional director, is also on here. That is one of those things that it's just a matter of it being brought to our attention, and Randy is working with Fani on make it a point to set a specific part of your day every day, when, guess what, no matter what's going on short of a true emergency, you've got to just make it a point, or time slips past. You get involved in projects, you get involved in deadlines, you get involved in preparing these other things. And if you're not making it a point that every day at specific times, I need to get out of my office, I need to walk my property, I need to go visit with residents and things like that, the day comes and goes, and you can get lost in all of the phone calls, emails, and everything else. So that's one of the things that we've been working with Fani recently and focus more on. Make it a point to 2 or 3 times a day, get out, walk your property, at least your common areas.
What's going on there?
I'm sorry? So yes, that was something that the board brought to our attention and we are working on.
Bill Vancheri brought up a point here that when we have presentations from the other people who are bidding, that we didn't allow questions and answers. So he's recommending that this is really not proper. However, I think that since that this is our current company, and if you want to retain them or not, Bill, I'm going to argue with you here that I think that it's important that the residents here get to speak and get to say what they want to say.
I agree.
I'm reading chats here about things that have nothing to do with First Service. Okay? The RAD issue is not a First Service issue. That is a building issue. And that is a company who we hired who is working through a process. Right? Different type of issues in the building are not First Service issues. You got to focus on what First Service does for you, not the companies who we hire to take care of the issues.
Yeah, well, you know, just there's so much inconsistencies, and I'm just telling you, we can schedule another meeting for questions and answers from our owners, or they can send questions so we can ask, okay? There's things that were divulged to another company that shouldn't have been divulged, and that is not fair. So I'm abstaining to the questions that are being asked because it's just going to be a bash First Service, and that's not what it's about. It's about what are their facts, what they've done, what they're going to do in the future, and it's up to us, and then go to the people, to, you know, the residents. But this is out of line. That's my feeling.
Bill, if I could, I certainly appreciate that. So we get in front of the room, and anytime we get in front of residents, when we walk in the first time before we've had an opportunity, when we're doing renewal, we are accustomed to some tough questions, and you know, there are people who are always very pleased. There are those who are less pleased or may have more challenging questions. So we're pretty thick-skinned. I've been doing this for 30 years. Bill's been doing this a long time. Randy's been with us for 15 years. So we have no problems with addressing the tough questions. I will tell you the difference between doing these presentations on Zoom and being in the room is when you're standing in front of a group of people in the room, you have to read body language and their facial expressions. On Zoom, when you get to read their chats while you're doing this, that can be a whole new level of brutal.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but we do appreciate that. But we're happy to field any questions, anything that has to do with us and our service, what we can address. If there's areas where we have fallen short, or at least that is the perception, right or wrong, we want to know about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Eleanor, you asked a question. If you want to review the other presentations, they are on YouTube. They were recorded. They were put up there by Mr. Fry, and they're there for you to watch again. But no, we will not have people represent their proposals to us. The board has heard all three, and we will discuss, and then we will discuss in front of you in a board meeting, and we will take a vote, and we will choose a new company. If you want to see the proposals, they're there for you to see. All right.
If I could, I wanted to make a point. There was one issue, one chat that I saw somebody make a comment about. Bill had referenced that no one person can get around to 350 buildings. So what we didn't address was, we are